Good evening, councillors, staff, and online viewers in Blind River. I would like to acknowledge that we are on Mississauga First Nation land. And prior to starting tonight's agenda, I would like to ask each councillor who is present via this video conferencing to answer the roll call when I call your name. Deputy Mayor Summers.
Present.
Councillor B. Dunbar.
Present.
Councillor J. Dunbar.
Present.
Councillor Wells.
Present.
Councillor Roy.
Present.
Councillor Pastorero.
Present.
Thank you. It's budget time, and that means a lot of work for our managers, directors, treasurer, and CAO. All employees have been working diligently to ensure that the residents are getting the right balance and ensuring that our community needs are being looked after while not gouging the ratepayers' pocketbooks. Council has been working with staff to ensure we are meeting this balance. And this Thursday, November 19th, there will be a public meeting via Zoom for the public to see the draft budget and user fees. If you have any questions on the proposed budget, these questions can be sent by email prior to 3 p.m. on Thursday to info@blindriver.ca. Council has been made aware that rumors are circulating in regards to active cases in our area of COVID-19. To clarify for everyone watching tonight, close contacts and confirmed cases are notified directly by Algoma Public Health. Anyone cautious about receiving a call about being exposed to COVID-19, if it's not from the APH, it's not you. Concerned community members can reach out to Algoma Public Health to clarify their risk on our COVID-19 phone line, 1-866-892-0721, extension 5404. I'll say that again, 1-866-892-0721, extension 5404, or 705-759-5404. Please do your part to share only the facts and use the helpline, and we appreciate that support. And I would like to thank the residents of Blind River for continuing to be vigilant about hand sanitizing, wearing a mask, and staying socially distant. Our frontline workers are to be congratulated on the excellent service they continue to provide our community. These are difficult times, and your town is continually working to ensure a safe well-being for everyone. Now, without further ado, turning to tonight's agenda, I have a motion from Councillor Pastorero, seconded by Councillor J. Dunbar. Be it resolved that Council approve the agenda and the closed agenda as presented. All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. And are there any declarations of pecuniary interest? Going once, going twice, going 3 times, and I see none. Thank you. And I have a motion from Councillor B. Dunbar, seconded by Councillor Wells. Be it resolved that Council adopt the minutes of the regular Council meeting of November 2nd, 2020 as presented. All in favor of this motion? And that is carried. Thank you. And is there any business arising from those minutes? And seeing no show of hands, I will go on to mention that there are no public presentations tonight, so we are moving on to the introduction and consideration of administrative reports from our CAO clerk with regards to a deferral on unserviced roads. There were 4 documents in our council packages. I have a motion from Councillor Summers, seconded by Councillor Roy. Whereas McKelney Road is a private road that is acquired during annexation, and whereas the Municipal Act 44 states
You froze, Sally.
the municipal standard, And whereas this road would require substantial improvements, and that this is a private road not owned by the municipality. Discussion. Councillor Jay Dunbar.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor. Yeah, I noticed that the first part of the resolution there, it says that McElhaney Road is a private road that was acquired. Acquired doesn't mean obviously assumed. So, I mean, I do have a few questions and several of them actually. And like, I'd like to know, what are our alternatives, further down the road here. I realize we have a hard enough time keeping up with the roads we do have, let alone assume new private roads or let alone build new roads. But, there are questions to ask. And I went through the Section 44 of that Municipal Act. And I don't know, like, we probably can just say no and pass the resolution. But I mean, further down the road, this is going to come back to us eventually. And I'm wondering if there's alternatives, that can be looked at in the future. And some of these alternatives, like our recovery costs of the municipality with the owner of this private road. And as far as I know, I don't even know who the owner is of this private road. Besides recovery costs, there was the possibility of adding recovery costs also to the tax rolls of individuals out in that area. But the bottom part, or the last part of the resolution that I need some clarity on, is that if we assume the private road, we have to bring this up to municipal standards or a minimum standard. And do we, I mean, I couldn't find that, but if that's the fact, we have to bring it up to a specific standard. What if we didn't and we just plowed the road? Can we just plow the road without bringing it up to a standard? And that's food for thought. And I mean, I had to ask these questions because, someone's got to ask for the taxpayers of the town here. So, I mean, is there an alternative here in the future? And I would ask the CAO or probably at this time for any information that she might have on this.
Thank you, Councillor Dunbar. I see Councillor Roy's hand up, so I will give him the floor next, followed by Councillor Posterero.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We've gone through this before with different roads. I think that the problem is that they have to bring it up to spec, not the town of Blind River. So if they brought it up to spec, then we could take it over. We could choose not to, but if they spent all that money, of course we would. The problem with putting our equipment on those roads, especially the road in question, is it's narrow, it's windy, it isn't up to spec. It could damage our equipment. We could end up in the ditch there, no room to turn around. There's all kinds of issues that Public Works they could rhyme off a whole list of them, I'm certain. And I think that we'd be opening up a can of worms if we went onto this property, because it isn't town property. When they say it was acquired during annexation, all the property was acquired during annexation. It doesn't mean that we're assuming a road. The road was there to go to a cottage or cottages back in the day. Now those cottages have become homes. If the road was brought up to spec, of course the town would look at it, but it also have to be an area for us to turn around safely, and the ditching would have to be done, everything would have to be done. So in this case, It's just not it's not feasible for the town to go in there and do any of this work, just because we could end up breaking our machinery and or being stuck every time we go in, or on occasion. So I think that was the whole issue behind not going on to private property. And if we do even once, if we go in there even once, then we're assuming the road. So we shouldn't be going in there to plow it even the one time to wing back the banks or do whatever was asked in the past. Because if we do that, then we're going to end up, as I say, with a can of worms where every cottage owner is going to want us to plow their road, whether it be to a large number of cottages or a cottage. So I don't think that we have the manpower, and I definitely know that a lot of these cottage roads are not in good repair. They were built with, as they call it, corduroy, which is just whatever was there. There could be wood, there could be big stones, there could be whatever under that roadway, and it's just not meant for big equipment either. So we could be damaging the road if we go into it. So I think that's the bottom line on this subject.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Roy, for bringing that information to light.
And thank you. And over to Councillor Posterero.
And further to Councillor Roy, we would be opening up Pandora's box, because if we assume one, then every private road would wish to be deemed assumed. And it's my understanding through the readings that it's 23 kilometers, and that's quite a substantial tax burden to the municipality for residents that I know pay quite substantial taxes, but under the understanding that the road was private when they purchased it. I guess my question would be that if it's not financially feasible, but if we did assume the road, would their property taxes not increase even more substantially, because then the road would therefore be assumed?
Thank you, Councillor Posterero. I will turn it over to our CAO to answer any further questions and provide information.
Thank you, Mayor Hagman. With regard to Councillor Posterero's question with the taxes being raised, the value of the property could potentially increase based on the road being a municipal road. That would be up to MPAC to assess the properties and deem it from there. With regard to the standard level of the road, if we assume these roads and we commence maintenance of these roads, and the municipality becomes the road authority, and under that act, you have a duty to ensure that that road is maintained all seasons, all year round, 12 months of the year, not just for winter maintenance. So should something happen on that road, should there be an accident, should there be injury, the municipality would be held and deemed accountable if the road was not to proper standards, which includes up to signage, potholes, surface treatment, the entire gamut of it. This would be taking over 23 kilometers of road that is not to municipal standard, bringing it to standard and ensuring and maintaining it at that level. And I know that we do not have the capability with our current public works complement. We would have to increase that complement.
Thank you, Ms. Scott. To Councillor Summers, followed by Councillor Jay Dunbar.
Also, I believe when we had discussed it before that if the trucks were to go on the roads as they are now and something were to happen, our insurance wouldn't cover them because they are going on roads that aren't up to date, up to standard.
Through you, Madam, if our trucks went onto the private road, we're not covered under our insurance to be working on the private road, and nor would our insurance cover us if we hired a contractor, because we would not elude any damage or any liability if it was a contractor.
Thank you. And Councillor Jay Dunbar.
Yes, thanks, Madam Mayor. I'll just finish up with it's probably not going to help the taxpayers on this road, but I personally do appreciate the information that was brought out here tonight, and I do realize that we're in no position right now to bring that road up to any sort of standards due to our own problems with the roads that we do have in town to take care of. And again, thank you for all the information brought forward here tonight.
Thank you, Councillor Dunbar. Are there any other comments for discussion from council before we go to a vote? Seeing none, all in favor of this motion? Opposed? And I comment on that, and thank you all for your comments. Yep. And moving on to 9.2, the CA clerk has provided us with information and an update on the broadband enhancement proposal. And I have a motion from Councillor J. Dunbar, seconded by Councillor B. Dunbar. Be it resolved that council accept the proposal from Leapfrog Telecom to install its line of sight line LTU technology on the top of the water tower located in the town to provide internet services, and that council direct the CAO to draft a lease agreement with Leapfrog Telecom for the rental of the tower space. Discussion. Councillor J. Dunbar.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. You know, I'm happy to see this here come into fruition, and we had the opportunity for this project. You know, the project is intended to provide an alternative for internet connection, and preferably with no data caps and a more affordable price, which the company is proposing. Now, there is a one-time buy-in fee for the equipment. And I do hope that the company, you know, can reach out to the residents, you know, who reside out in our boonies, per se, I call them. I know on Facebook, they like to call themselves the boonies. And I'm talking about the River Road area, Mataninda area, Deborn and Lozon area, where they're quite handicapped with their cap prices that they have to pay. And, you know, I believe the capability is here with this company. And, you know, if we could maybe get one more tower up and running or space rented from it north of town, I think that they would be able to encompass quite a bit of the Blind River rural area that has none, and I'm looking at maybe as far as up on Mataninda Lake. But you know, these sharing of the towers, you know, I understand ISP and mobility companies already, you know, own these, and that's their competitive advantage. But you know, we have a lot of the federal and provincial government these days talking about providing all kinds of money. Maybe if we can look at maybe to subsidize some of these ISPs for rental space on their towers, this might bring this faster up front and incorporate a larger broadband area for this young and upcoming company. And I would like to ask that all, you know, concerned individuals who have broadband inadequacies and problems, you know, I hope that they reach out to their MPPs and MPs and let them know that, and give them, you know, give them the list of their problems. And finally, Madam Mayor, I hope that the business and the residential people of Blind River, you know, are able to give this company a chance and see for themselves, you know, firsthand, if this is going to help them with their broadband needs that they're looking for. So again, Madam Mayor, through you, I'm looking forward to seeing this up and running, and I hope it works out.
Thank you, Councillor Dunbar. Councillor Pastorero.
I like Councillor Dunbar. I'm very excited for any expansion to our broadband capabilities. As he lovingly says, the boonies. I'm just wondering, is there the potential for that dormant shaft that's at the marina to possibly be relocated to maybe bring capabilities out to the boonies?
And I'll turn that over to our CAO, Ms. Scott.
Through you, Madam Mayor, actually staff have been discussing that exact proposal. So we're doing some investigating on that, and we will be bringing a report to council with regard to that.
Thank you. Are there any questions, other questions or discussion items on this? Councillor Wells.
Thank you, Mayor Hagman. I'd like to begin by saying that I do support this because we know that a lot of the residents of the community are looking for faster internet service. But my question is that we are going to be having, and at this point I'll express my ignorance, I'm not exactly sure what's going to be installed on the top of the water tower. But I am just wondering, we're going to have a third party leasing space on a town facility. I'm assuming that we will be looking in terms of the lease agreement with regard to liability if there should be damage to our facility caused by the installation of this equipment.
And I put that back to our CAO.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. To your question, Councillor Wells, to be honest, we're not 100% sure if it will be going on top of the water tower or if we'll be adding it to the tower that we already have in that vicinity, which we do lease out to other associations who utilize that. It's not just us that utilize that tower. But once we have confirmation from council that you are in agreement with this proposal, we will work closely with the company to find them the location that's suitable for their needs.
Thank you. And are there any other comments on this motion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? And that's carried. Thank you. And from the CAO clerk, we have a motion on the engineering services agreement, extension with Tulloch Engineering. I have a motion moved by Councillor Summers, seconded by Councillor Wells. Be it resolved that council authorize a 3-year extension for engineering services with Tulloch Engineering at an increase of 1.85% across the 3 years. Discussion. Councillor Jay Dunbar.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't have any issues with the Tulloch Engineering. You know, I believe they've been doing a really good job. And the only thing that I've ever had to speak about was when we got into large projects or when previous large projects were being done, who was looking after the town's interests on some of these projects. And I think that they've strived to look after our town's interests, but I would like to hear from the CAO clerk. I mean, we have had other engineering contractors for us. And Ms. Scott, like, have you noticed have they seek to look after the interests of the town on some of these projects or projects that have been completed?
Through you, Madam Mayor, to you, Councillor Dunbar, I can say that our engineering experience with our previous engineer and with Tulloch Engineering has been a good experience, and they've always looked after the best interest of the municipality. That being said, senior management also always works hand in hand with the engineer to ensure that the right questions are being asked when we're working on projects. Our projects have been coming in on time and on schedule, and on budget for the most part. So we've been very happy working with Tulloch Engineering. The recommendation comes today because a lot of our projects are partway finished or not even at the halfway point at this stage of the game. So changing engineers at this time would be costly to the municipality, having to bring new engineers up to speed on all of the projects that we have on the go right now. Extending this contract makes sense, and we're doing it for the 3-year term because a 2-year extension would put us in the middle of an election.
Thank you, Katie. And again, Madam Mayor, you know, I have no problems whatsoever to continue this contract. I would look forward to voting in favor of this.
Thank you, Councillor Dunbar. And are there any other comments on this motion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? And that's carried. Thank you. And from our treasurer, we have documentation on the sewage treatment plant upgrades. I have a motion from Councillor Roy, seconded by Councillor Jay Dunbar. Be it resolved that council authorize the tax levy funding of $20,000 for auto sampler and WTP SCADA be reallocated to the STP or the sewage treatment plant upgrades. Sorry about that. And is there any discussion on this motion? Councillor Summers?
I just wanted to just clarify here, just to be clear for everyone out there, that the funding was already there and we're just reallocating it from one place to another. So just so that people understand that it's not extra money that we're putting out there.
Good point. Thank you, Councillor Summers. Are there any other comments? All in favor of this motion? And opposed? And that's carried. Thank you. And from our Director of Facilities and Community Services, we have information from Algoma Snow Plant Affiliation. I have a motion from Councillor Summers, seconded by Councillor Dunbar. Be it resolved that Council recognizes the importance of retaining winter tourism associations with proven successful track records in Blind River, and that Blind River is committed to showcasing itself as a year-round destination, and that Council direct the CAO to proceed with lease preparation reflecting an existing rental rate of $200 between the Town of Blind River and Algoma Snow Plant Affiliation. Discussion. Councillor Dunbar.
I think this is going to be a really great fit, and I'm really thrilled to see this resolution here and to see somebody inside that tourist information center. Oh, I am? Sorry.
No, maybe it's me. We'll go back to Brian.
Yeah, now you are frozen. But anyway, it's a good fit, and I would support this, Madam Mayor.
We did lose you for a minute. I think it's my Wi-Fi is unstable, which comes back to the issue of broadband. So what can I say?
That stands for leapfrog.
There you go. Are there any other comments for this motion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. Thank you. And from our Manager of Building, Planning and Bylaws, with regard to the parkland dedication, development charges, and community benefit charges, I have a motion from Councillor Posturero, seconded by Councillor Wells. Be it resolved that Council direct the Chief Building Official to prepare a report of the benefits of the development charges bylaw. Comments, questions? Seeing none, all in favor of this motion? And opposed? And that is carried. Thank you. We have no reports on the service delivery review status or the presentation of committee reports at this time. Under unfinished business, we have a motion on the Ontario Water Power Association. I have a motion from Councillor B. Dunbar, seconded by Councillor Posturero. Be it resolved that Council authorize the Mayor and CAO Clerk to sign the Ontario Water Power Champions Charter, and that Council declare June 20th annually as Water Power Day, and that the Town of Blind River pay the community membership of $100 for 2021. Comments? Seeing none, all in favor of this motion? Opposed? And that is carried. Thank you. And from the Township of Huron-Kinloss, with regards to the Municipal Elections Act, I have a motion from Councillor Summers, seconded by Councillor Jay Dunbar. Be it resolved that council support Township of Huron-Kinloss in their request that the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing review the municipal elections to place schemes in rural communities where non-residential electors are permitted to participate in elections and provide more clear guidelines to assist municipal clerks in defining the voters list and to ensure that there is a clear way to report election fraud, and that a copy of this resolution be forwarded to the Premier Ford and the Township of Huron-Kinloss. Discussion. Councillor Pastorero.
I thank you for the extra correspondence. It definitely clarifies their issue, and the fact that people are renting a shed or a garage for $100 just so that they can vote in an election is despicable. So yeah, I definitely would support this motion now with the enhanced information.
And thank you for your comments. Are there any other comments? Seeing none, all in favor of this motion? Opposed? And that is carried. Thank you. Under correspondence for action, we have none. Under correspondence for information, we received correspondence from Cameco Corporation re the license renewal for Cameco Blind River Refinery, which is a good news story for our community. Are there any comments on this correspondence? And seeing none. Oh, Councillor Pastorero, sorry.
I just want to say like how privileged we are to have Cameco in our community, and the outgoing general manager, Chris Assels, what he does for the community. So yeah, it definitely is a good news story.
It certainly is. We are very fortunate to have them as part of our community. And as always, Cameco has been very generous with their donations. On the topic of 14.2, Algoma Public Health, the 2020 municipal levy refund notice adjustment of $7,644.59. I have a motion from Councillor Pastorero, seconded by Councillor Roy. Be it resolved that the 2020 municipal levy refund from Algoma Public Health be put into a reserve to offset future levy increases. Discussion. All in favor of this motion? Opposed? And that is carried. Thank you. And on November 12th, 2020, BrokerLink sent us an information on the COVID Operation Assessment Premium Relief, and we will be credited with $3,308. And I have a motion from Councillor Wells, seconded by Councillor B. Dunbar. Be it resolved that COVID-19 Operational Assessment Premium Relief received from BrokerLink and Frank Cowan be transferred to the insurance reserve. Comments? All in favor of this motion? Opposed? Seeing none, that is carried. And thank you for that. I had received no notices of motion, so moving on to 16 on your agenda, introduction and consideration of bylaws. We have bylaw number 204045, which is regarded in relation to natural gas procurement program agreement. Until when I don't have a glass of water beside me. So we have a motion from Councillor Summers, seconded by Councillor Jay Dunbar. Be it resolved that council authorize the mayor and CAO clerk to sign bylaw number 20-45, being a bylaw of the corporation of the town of Blind River, to enter into an agreement with LAS for natural gas procurement program was passed in open council this 16th day of November 2020. All in favor of this motion? Opposed? And that is carried. Thank you for that. And with regards to bylaw 2046, with regard to the Canadian Pacific Master Sign License Agreement, being a bylaw to authorize the municipality to enter into an agreement with CPR, I have a motion from Councillor Wells, seconded by Councillor Roy. Be it resolved that council authorize the mayor and CAO clerk to sign bylaw 20-46, being a bylaw of the Corporation of the Town of Blind River, to enter into an agreement with Canadian Pacific Railway, was passed in open council the 16th day of November 2020. Discussion? All in favor of this motion? Opposed? And that is carried. Thank you. And we have no council reports or announcements tonight, or an addendum to this agenda. So we're going to be moving into the closed part of our meeting. I have a motion from Councillor Pastorero, seconded by Councillor Summers. Be it resolved that council go into closed meeting at 7:35 p.m. in accordance with Section 239 of the Municipal Act in order to address matters pertaining to an offer to purchase. All in favor of this motion? Opposed? And that is carried. And this ends the public part of the meeting. We will be going into close, coming back to the public portion after our closed meeting has ended. Thanks, everyone. Go try again. Be it resolved that council resume the open meeting at 7:58 p.m. All in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. Thank you. And for the public's information, council discussed a proposed acquisition of land by the municipality and an offer to purchase. And I have a motion from Councillor Summers, seconded by Councillor B. Dunbar. Be it resolved that council accept the offer to purchase 193, 189, and 185 Young Fox Road. All in favor of this motion? And opposed? And that is carried. Thank you. And I have a motion from Councillor Wells, seconded by Councillor Pastorero. Be it resolved that council authorize the mayor and CAO clerk to sign bylaw 20-47, being a bylaw of the Corporation of the Town of Blind River, to adopt the minutes of the meeting November 16th, 2020, was passed in open council the 16th day of November 2020. All in favor of this motion? And opposed? And that is carried. Thank you. Last but not least, I have a motion from Councillor J. Dunbar, seconded by Councillor Roy. Be it resolved that council adjourn at 7:59 p.m. All in favor of this motion? Opposed? And that is carried. Thanks, everyone. Have a great evening, and we will see you on Thursday night for the public information meeting. Have a good night.